Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And in this one, I'm going to be going over my gameplay of the Discipline Priest. Been having a lot of fun with the specialization. I've been playing it a ton, particularly playing with Enhancement Shaman and Arms Warrior. I would personally recommend playing this composition, as well as maybe substituting in a Retribution Paladin or a Feral Druid for the Enhancement Shaman. Bring a hybrid with some extra healing to back you up, and you're going to have a really good time on Discipline Priest because you can focus on just doing damage. In this particular build, I am running a Soulbind Conduit that increases the attack speed of my Shadow Fiend, which is why I'm actually running the alternative Mindbender. I utilize this against teams with Freezing Trap and Polymorph because I'm going to be crowd controlled so much so that I won't be able to use Powered Solace to generate mana. And with the attack speed on the Mindbender, it does a ton of damage and adds a ton of mana back to myself, and I've been really enjoying that. I've opted to stop running the instant cast Radiance and stop running the Radiance Conduit in this composition. If you're running with Rogue Mage, you may still want to run instant Radiance as there isn't as much burst healing, but if you have tanky classes like a Warrior with a ret for instant healing or a shaman with instant healing, I suggest running Trinity and dropping the training wheels of the instant radiance. If you're still new to Discipline Priest, then definitely pick up the radiance, pick up the instant healing. But this is sort of the build that I've been slowly adopting and the playstyle I've been adopting. I like the Mindbender as well because it lines up with Enhancement Shaman Doomwind's cooldowns in a 1-minute burst window, along with Dark Archangel. It's got great synergies. In this particular matchup, we're fighting a Hunter, Feral Druid, Discipline Priest. So my main goal against any hybrid Feral Ret Enhance is to utilize Mind Games and Psychic Scream to stop them from healing. You have to stop the hybrid from healing, otherwise the target you're attacking, no matter what it is not going to die. The start of the fight, you want to just run in, get in combat, and get Powered Shield on all 3 targets. This will activate Trinity, your honor talent. It will also just get Atonement up, which means that your Purge the Wicked that you want to get up as soon as possible on as many targets as you can, just gets it up and running. You can see I'm just getting Purge the Wicked onto 2 targets, and I'm in a Freezing Trap. Now you got to make a call here. When you're crowd controlled against Hunters and Mages, and you see that Berserk cooldown from the Feral, that's their big damage. So you want somebody to use a significant cooldown. In this position, because the Warrior's the target, the Warrior needs to use cooldowns. So the Warrior is going to activate Die by the Sword and Rallying Cry. They could have also used Medallion while they were stunned. As soon as you see this Berserk icon and you see this True Shot icon on the Hunter, that's scary times. You want to trade Medallions for that. You want to trade Retaliation from the Warrior or Die by the Sword, mix up the names there. After you're out of crowd control, get Purge the Wicked up on as many targets as possible and get your DPS out of crowd control. So here my Warrior's rooted, so I'll target and then dispel the root as soon as possible. Move forward and aggressive in between crowd control chains. This way you can sort of pressure the other team away. When Freezing Trap isn't available, you want to be doing as much damage, getting in their face as much as possible, using your Dark Archangel, using your Mindbender. Really like that synergy. It's a lot of extra damage, and we're bursting down the Feral Druid, so I fear the Discipline Priest, and this is where you can try to look to go for a Mind Games. We end up getting Aspect of the Turtle with that really aggressive push. Now we need to get ready for defense, so I actually just drop a barrier. This is because I'm running the Dome Honor talent. It's a 1.5-minute cooldown, which is reasonably low out of Discipline Priest cooldowns. I was preempting this crowd control. So now I'm feared, but this barrier is reducing damage so significantly that my Warrior's not taking damage. So as soon as I think I'm about to be crowd controlled, I'll just drop a barrier down. We've already lined up our Die by the Sword with their Berserk and with their True Shot, so I can rely on that. This is a mind control on my Shaman. You can remove that by targeting the Shaman and then casting your Purge. But in this position, I didn't have enough time to do so. Get Atonement up on all of your teammates. This is Powered Shield on all 3 of your teammates. Get Purge the Wicked, which is your dot, on as many targets as you can after that. And cast Penance as much as possible. You can also utilize Penance to spread the Purge of the Wicked. So I actually cast Penance on the Priest, which then applies Purge the Wicked to the pet. And then mash the heck out of Smite. When there's nothing happening, they don't have their Freezing Trap, they don't have their stun, you want to be mashing Smite, keeping Atonement up, keeping these dots up, and then anticipating crowd control. So in this position, I see Clone being casted. I tell my Shaman, hey, I'm getting cloned. Get ready to do something, because I see my Shaman's lower health. I think he's now the target. Because I'm in this Cyclone and he's getting bursted down quite heavily, I tell the Shaman to use Ethereal Form, which is an honor talent for Enhancement Shaman. It's only really good in this matchup because Hunters and Ferals only do physical damage, but it allows them to use that immunity to physical damage more often than the Astral Shift, but it's just a personal defensive. Whenever you're playing with teammates or utilizing LFG or something like that. When your crowd control is the healer, you want to tell the DPS that's being attacked, hey, use a personal defensive cooldown. You would like to prioritize your cooldowns afterwards because they can be used on anyone in the party, which means if the enemy targets, if we use paint suppression on our shaman, for example, and then they switch to the warrior, there's no cooldown for the warrior. So personal defensives first as a healer, I think, is generally a good strategy, especially just for cleaning things up. Now we're getting aggressive. Crowd control's over. We drop the spear. They drop a cap totem, and I give Dark Archangel. I'm always waiting to hear my teammates. Hey, are you using your cooldowns, your aggressive cooldowns? And then I line up my power infusion or my Dark Archangel when they say that they're doing their damage. Here I get feared and my shaman is stunned, so I use Will of the Forsaken to break the fear. You want to dispel mind games off your shaman as soon as possible. This is a deadly cooldown for a hybrid. You always want to remove that as quickly as possible. And because they do more healing than you do, in terms of direct burst healing. So you remove that, they'll heal themselves, and then you'll be doing all right. Here, as soon as my dispel is available, I want to get my warrior out of roots, get them aggressive, start getting atonement up. I'm a bit struggling on shaman healing, so I am opting for more single target healing. Here I use mind games. This is to bait dispel, right? He doesn't want the feral not to heal. And then as soon as it's dispelled, you can use psychic scream. So you've removed the healing from the feral, regardless of the mind games being dispelled or not. And then you utilize crowd control on the priest, like our warriors intimidating shouts, and we're just going after the hunter. We've isolated the hunter. I'll use mind control to try and stop the feral from healing. This is my job whenever they're going for the attack on the target, is get the hybrid out of the game, so I can use mind games to spell psychic scream, and then start mashing smite and penance. Here I come a little bit closer to my team to try and get in range of some disruption, like storm bolts. But I end up getting psychic screamed away, and I see the hunter here disengage. My eyes are all on the hunter when I'm out of psychic scream because I think they want to trap. So you can use shadow or death, and here I see an animation from the hunter, and I immediately deathed, assuming that was going to be a freezing trap. But the hunter held on to it for a second later, and I end up getting freezing trapped. Here it's very scary. I'm in crowd controlled, can't heal. Shaman is stunned, can't heal. Tell them to use personal defensive cooldown. That's the calculation. I can't heal because I'm in this. They can't heal because they're in that. Use a button that will reduce damage. That's basically your 3-2-1 defensive basics. If they don't have a cooldown to use, we need to use a cooldown on them. And that's going to be keeping the basics. Now, when you're out of crowd control, get power word shield up on all your targets. I'm also running body and soul, which sprints the target that I shield. So this is much more effective as well with warrior enhancement shaman to get them back onto the target. Really like body and soul, but we're out of the cyclone. We were just freezing trapped. We have our trinket, our medallion coming up. We've got a pretty good mana advantage, so we do really just want to get aggressive here as much as possible. So I'll use fear on the feral. This is to bait dispel. So I'm holding mind games. I fake it out. I'm waiting to see if they'll dispel the fear. I'm just all of my crowd control allocated to the hybrid. So feral, ret, whatever it is. And then as soon as the fear is over, I mind games and I get back in position to start attacking the hunter with my team. However, the feral is standing on top of me. And the enemy team uses Dome here. This, again, reduces a ton of damage. We used it ourselves as a Discipline Priest. It's going to do the same for them. So I hold on to my Dark Archangel. I don't pop damage into their damage reduction. Although as turbo, sometimes you can just absolutely smash them. And then I start getting aggressive towards the priest. We've got medallions. This is where we really want to start closing the game. Just use our medallions if we need to, and just get on target, max out the game. So I tell my warrior to use Dive of the Sword. I drop barrier. This is probably unnecessary. I think my trinket barrier was enough here. This is actually a bit of a bad call. Trinket barrier, stabilize the team and get them aggressive. And the main reason I want you to start playing aggressive is they've got no mana. And they've got no medallions. We have the lead. We have the offensive cooldowns. We just got their dome. So get Purge the Wicked up. Get your Mindbender out. Get your Dark Archangel up. Get your Power Infusion onto your partner. Get Penance going. Don't look at the Shaman's health bar. Look at the target you're trying to kill's health bar. Max out as much damage as possible onto the target and try and burst it out of the game. We use Chain Harvest. They're in death range when you Shadow Word Death for damage. Really effective with a warrior as well, with Execute being so powerful at low health, so you can actually chop a target out of the game. So you don't not only want to use Shadow Word Death to be able to avoid the traps of the polys, you also can use it to just close the game out. But yeah, paying attention to the priest mana, paying attention to their medallions, knowing when the game is over if you make a push is very important. I think it's an important skill to develop. And then, like we broke down earlier, just calling personal defensive cooldowns when you can't heal and the target being attacked can't heal, generally a good strategy overall. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you would like to follow along in real time in my advancements in Arena, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Supatease. You can follow me on Twitter @Supatease, Instagram @Supacasting. If you'd like to follow my weight loss journey, I've recently lost over 100 pounds. So you can follow me on Instagram there. All the links to the socials will be in the description box down below. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, what you would like to see for content content from the channel. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel as it's absolutely free. It just lets you know when my videos go live, and it really does help me out at no direct cost to yourself, so you don't need to worry about that if that's something you're worried about. Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.